Hey, it started off really hot today. It's been like a heat wave in the northeast US for the last weekish. So everything that I've gotten done has been pretty slow and definitely not fun. The last week has not been fun. But anyways, I decided that I'd finish up my battery box today because I want to finish painting all the interior, so that's just out of the way and I don't have to think about it anymore. It looks horrible, but what'd you expect? I didn't even measure anything. I just eyeballed it all, but it gets wider towards the open end there, which I'm actually okay with because this is going to be meant to accommodate a different variety of batteries. This will fit any battery I'd ever need. This will currently fit my OEM one roughly, barely. I think it's got a little bit more tolerance for it, but anyways, what I'm gonna do to finish this up is I have this plate and I have a duplicate of it, right here, and I'm gonna have this on the top here, kind of like that, and then this needs to be welded on top of this. I definitely could have thought more of this, but I just kind of started going before I planned anything out. But the idea is I'm gonna weld that flat on top, and then, like I said, this will go here, and I have these two cut out threaded rods as well. So basically, as you tighten it, it will move further and further along, and then once you do that, I'm gonna have another bar on the top that clamps down, and it's gonna have multiple holes, so it can adjust depending on how far it goes in. So I'm going to be running a smaller battery than the one that I have now by quite a bit, so I wanted to make sure that I could put my OEM one, well, I doubt this is the OEM one, but put whichever battery I have in here, and then I'll have no issue moving to a different one so long as it's not any bigger than that, which I have no desire to go any bigger than this one now. The general rule of thumb is like roughly 1 cold cranking amp for every cubic inch of your motor, and considering this is a 2.4 liter, I need like roughly 300 cold cranking amps or something like that. This has 700. It has no problem firing up or anything. I like that. I mean, I don't have any problems with it, but it's just a little bit hefty and large. So I'm gonna move it back there for weight and balance and whatever. And then another aspect of moving it is I want this space here, because the stock airbox goes down there. The tube actually is disconnected on my car. The clamp that was probably there prior is gone. But then it goes up and around into this tiny snorkel that you probably can't see, but it's like that wide, and it just seems really restrictive. And I'm a fan of louder intake noises regardless. So what I'm gonna do is, once all this is moved, I'm gonna probably get a new one of these just in case this is beat up at all. These are notorious for cracking, but might get a new one of those and then kind of bend it and reroute the MAF so it kind of leans this way. And then I'm probably going to make a aluminum box or something here, and put the intake in there. And then maybe route a pipe out the front or something, maybe out that pipe that's already there for all that. For all it matters, and then maybe just figure out a better, wider intake around there. I don't know, but I definitely want to do that. That will clear up this whole spot, and then I still need to get the AC out. I've just been putting that off for forever, really. This belt is for the AC delete, and I've had that for weeks, but that's really low on my priority list right now. I'm just trying to get the thing driving again, get everything working properly, and get it all one color. Although, yeah, the AC thing is definitely going to be big. I had mentioned I was trying to get a manual swap, but the guy never actually messaged me that day, which was kind of expected, honestly. But hopefully that still goes through regardless. And that might be a good time probably to do the AC delete, since I'll already be under there unbolting a lot of large components. Just chuck it out. I think it's somewhere around 100 pounds, and I don't want the engine getting any vampiric losses off of that. But regardless, that's my update for now. I'll show you the battery box once I finish welding up the last little bits. It should take me another 5 or 10 minutes. Definitely not going to be anything straight or impressive. I'm not even aiming for it. As long as it holds my batteries and they don't slide out and they clamp down like they need to, I'm good. And then it seems like everything should be done here in the short term, so that I can just spray some black paint on it and it looks relatively clean. Alright, so I don't have any of the matching nuts yet for it. I mean, I probably do have them laying around in the garage. I haven't looked yet, but I welded that plate on there, as you can see, and I just have these kind of lined up so you can generally see the idea behind what it's gonna do. So basically, this piece, as I was saying, is free, and it's going to remain free, and that can slide back and forth as it needs to, and then the top will secure it in place, as well as these screws here. So it should be pretty sturdy. I'm not imagining I'm going to have any problems with it. I guess now all I need to do is cut out one more piece of metal over the top and then just riddle it with holes, which definitely I'm not looking forward to that. All my drill bits are pretty much on their way out. So making holes is a very long and painstaking process at this point. So I mean, there's nothing too interesting to that. I'll let you know as I go. This is going to be probably something I don't finish today. So don't be surprised if I suddenly am wearing different clothes and I'm not as sweaty or something in a different cut. But yeah, I have to run my wiring that I have over on the Banshee over there through the car, drill another hole in the firewall, and then I guess bring my battery back and solder and make all the connections and hope it works. So as predicted, it is the next day. I did finish, I think, everything. I haven't actually even attempted to start the car yet, but it's not like really that difficult to reroute 2 power wires, so I can only assume that it works. My interior lights work, but this is what I did. All these were originally battery terminals, roughly this point, and they're just soldered with big globs here and friction taped together. This is the fuel pump fuse. All my accessories are still hooked up and soldered on there. And then that runs through this hole in the firewall, which I need to clean up a bit so that doesn't wear through. Kind of sloppily just runs along. I still need to maybe tie it down a bit more. It's tied down at that point, and then there. Sorry, I whack the microphone off stuff all the time. And then let's tie it down a little bit more. I think I'm gonna self-tapping screw like a bracket here or something just to keep this down. And then it goes up and around and comes out back here where that tightens, and the top can tighten down as well, but I'm missing one more wing nut. And I have to kind of go back in here with one more coat of paint because I ran out of paint halfway through and I'm having some adherence issues. Right here, I am very upset with this. I hit this spot with Crud Cutter probably 2 or 3 times, and I left to get paint and come back, so I know I waited long enough for everything to dry or whatever, but I guess there's still residue on there, so I have to do that part again, just like the little spots that didn't adhere properly, but it is what it is. But that's about it at this point. The last spot that I need for my interior to be fully black is just up here, and that's not going to be that hard. The only thing that stopped me from doing that so far is there's still a lot of residue that I have to get off with a heat gun or some form of chemical. And then I didn't really feel like masking off the windows inside, but I will have to get to that very shortly here, now that there is only that one little spot left that's not black. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, the camera just detached from the holder, but yeah, I mean, it's gone from being a pretty sloppy looking car to being fairly clean. I still want to remove all those little dents at some point, although it's not really a huge priority. It's starting to give me that race car vibe. Just gotta finish a few other very, very small things, and then I gotta paint that black as well and clean that up, cut a little bit more out of that. Then just finish up some body work and finish the paint, and hope that I can continue getting more parts and trying to finish this. Project is never truly finished, really, but get it in a position where I can drive it again. I can get practicing, try to skid it around a little bit maybe, It's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been sideways in it, and I've only put like 20-30 minutes of driving in the last 2 weeks on it since it just keeps dying. But I think the next step is fuel pump, and we'll see what happens from there. I guess I should probably do a better job diagnosing, but I'm just chucking parts at it. I guess the positive to that is I won't really have to worry about them, crapping out early, or in the near future. I'll know that most of those parts should remain reliable for a good while. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much my whole battery install. It looks kind of janky. Nothing's like perfect. I didn't really make any measurements or anything like that, like ballpark eyeball measurements. I didn't mark anything when I welded. I just kind of stuck them in there and went at it. But it appears to be working. That battery does not budge 1 millimeter, 1 micron. I don't know. Sorry. I'm not going to try to get all technical. I didn't do too well in high school, and I didn't take any science classes in college. So, anyhow, that's my update. Enjoy my update. Have a good one.